Juvenile court. Some criticisms include that it is too lenient, while others say it's too harsh. Critics are split between saying that juvenile court is devastating towards a juvenile, while for some it's a joke. Juvenile courts require limited jurisdiction, full implementation of due process, competent professional judges, adequate and trained court personnel, and wider availability of dispositional alternatives. Limited jurisdiction. Juvenile court should not attempt to be all things to all people. Jurisdiction should be limited to people under the age of the majority who have committed acts that violate criminal laws. Minors who have suffered abuse or neglect should not be in juvenile court, but rather a family court, as to not label them as offenders but as victims. Minors who commit youthful murders, rapes, and robberies should be handled by the juvenile court systems. Status offenses such as truancy, smoking, and drinking require attention, but not necessarily by the juvenile court system. This would streamline the juvenile court system and reduce caseload. Due process. All who appear before a juvenile court must be ensured their constitutional rights. All rights guaranteed to an adult criminal are not always guaranteed for juveniles. These rights include the right to know the charges, have counsel present, and presumption of innocence until proven guilty. Additionally, the right to not testify against oneself, trial by jury, and open access to records should also be included, as should the right to appeal decisions. Professional judges and court personnel. Criteria for appointed judges has less to do with legal and professional training and more to do with politics. While many juvenile court judges have the best intentions, far too many show an unfamiliarity with juvenile law. A juvenile court judge should have a law degree, be recognized by the bar, be knowledgeable about juvenile statutes, and have some experience in court proceedings. Juvenile court judges and other personnel should be able to carry out the mission of juvenile courts, protecting the juvenile while also protecting society. Dispositional alternatives. Often juvenile judges have only the choice of extremes, sentencing to a maximum security institution or outright release. Other alternatives such as foster homes, treatment centers, community youth projects, youth shelters, and hospitals should be available. These options sometimes exist in theory but not always in practice. It is imperative that alternative programs have the resources they need to become operational. Other revisions. Status offenses should be removed from juvenile court jurisdiction. Visibility and accountability of decision-making should replace unrestrained discretion and closed proceedings. Juveniles should have the right to decide on actions affecting their lives and freedom unless found incapable of making reasoned decisions. The role of parents in juvenile proceedings should be refined, especially when there is potential conflict between the interests of the juvenile and the parents. Limitations should be imposed on detention, treatment, and other intervention prior to education and disposition. Strict criteria should be established for waiver of juvenile court jurisdiction to regulate the transfer of juveniles to adult criminal court. Ira Schwartz argued that delinquency proceedings should be open to the public and the media so that they are subjected to the scrutiny and accountability as criminal court.